Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Tonight I'm getting to another one of your requests. This one comes to us from our buddy Tomahawk Thrash. Also Revelations. I don't have his full Revelations profile name pulled up, but officially requested as Tomahawk Thrash. But thank you so much for the request. This is ID Earth with Aliens. Now, I've never heard of ID Earth other than when he told me about her. I don't know anything about her. I don't know what her style is or anything. So I'm cautiously optimistic about this one. Like I am with all these other groups that I haven't heard that y'all request. The one thing I will say before we get into it is I did look and it had English auto-generated subtitles. So I went ahead and pulled lyrics up on the second monitor. As per usual, we'll watch the first time and take in what we can. The second time we'll go and watch and read the lyrics along with it. See if we can break down anything. The one thing that I noticed when I pulled up the lyrics, I didn't read them yet, but I did notice that there is already a lot of English. And then I scrolled down and saw Hangul. So I will have to see if I can get that translated. I couldn't find any full English lyric. So I think that covers everything. Let's go check out ID Earth with Aliens. This might get a little loud. Interesting synth bounce. Very interesting vocal quality. Very nice transition to her head voice there. She's looking all over the place. Those nails. Nice, fun dance break here. Heavy instrumentals. interesting. Okay, so I did enjoy it. I have no idea what the message is, though. All I really gathered was aliens. So right on point with the message, or the title, I mean. Uh, the biggest thing that I wanted to say, like the entire video, is that she has such a unique vocal quality, and it's really pleasing, but it's very stylistic, and it's something that you have to enjoy that, I think, to enjoy her music. Um, that's not a bad thing. It's just a niche thing, which might explain why she's not more popular than she is. Because the song itself was, again, I don't know the message, but just listening to it, it was pleasing to listen to. I had fun with it. But her voice to me sounds like if you took a K-pop star and then gave them the voice of Shakira and Lady Gaga, like the qualities of those two voices, and mesh them together. Uh, More towards the Shakira side. There was a lot of subtle vibrato in her delivery, and I don't know if that's how she normally sings or if that was, something she chose for this song. With Shakira, it's very evident. It's not even subtle. It's, it's prominent. That's who she is. That's her style. But I don't know enough about Earth to say if that's her style or if this is just something that she chose to do for this song. But again, was really pleasing to listen to. So, also, as a funny remark, when she showed up with the really long nails, I wanted to say, if you guys have seen either some of the comics or the actual, I want to say it was X-Men 2. I think that was the right one. Where with Lady Deathstrike, I yeah, I'm a nerd, and that's what she reminded me of in that scene. But all right, so let's go back and listen again, and let me see. I've got the lyrics here. Oh, this is convenient. Google's letting me like auto translate the page. Okay. Don't know how accurate it is because it is, translated basically for a second time, but we'll give it a shot. So we've got this nice synth bounce here at the beginning, and I'm guessing she's the actual alien here at the beginning because she's got the weird eyes and it's kind of like exploring things. Okay, so first verse, while it was English, it's very stylistically delivered, like I said, so I'm glad I have the lyrics here because I couldn't quite catch what she was saying. So it says, "Oh, underdog, our underdog, welcome to our world. Are you ready to be reborn? Call me what you want, then I'll show up in front of you. Quiero, which I assume, if my Spanish doesn't fail me, is I want in Spanish. Should probably know that, especially living in Los Angeles. But because I also thought that was quiero, not quiero, but all right. So I'm gonna actually, you know what? Just real quick, I'm gonna check it. I normally don't do this in the middle of a reaction, but yeah, okay, I was right the first time. It does mean I want. So okay, so oh, underdog, our underdog, I'm guessing it's the message to the alien in this case. Welcome to the world. Are you ready to be reborn? Like become a new person or a new entity. Call me whatever you want, like leader, master, whatever. Then I'll show up in front of you. Basically, I want that, or I want it, whatever. Okay. Kind of not really putting the message together yet, but let's see if I get more. Okay, before we get to the chorus, that pre-chorus, along the ever-long cochlea, feel the sign of every gravity. It's so ironic. I'm balancing your greed, but I wish. I feel like there's a lot of, just already in the first verse and the pre-chorus, I feel like there's a lot of poetic license being taken here. Like, you know, there's a lot of message that she's starting to deliver and then never completes the thought on. But let's go with what there is here. So along the everlong cochlea, that's the part of your ear that's responsible for your hearing. There's also the vestibular part of your inner ear, which is responsible for the balance. I mentioned that because 2 lines later we'll come back to it. Feel the sign of every gravity. Now the cochlea, how it perceives sound, I'm not going to get into the the full biology of it, and I don't remember all of it, but basically your cochlea has fluid inside of it, and the movement of that fluid against the micro hair cells that are there are essentially how you perceive sound. So feeling the sign of every gravity, though, I feel like gravity has 2 different meanings here. So feeling the sign of every gravity meaning everything that can hold you down. Obviously gravity being the force that keeps us from floating away into space. But also the sign of every gravity being like a serious thing. Like if you think of having a serious discussion, you might have a conversation that has gravitas or gravity to it. So I feel like that's kind of where we're going here. And then it's so ironic, I'm balancing your greed. So remember, the other part of the inner ear is the vestibular part that's responsible for your balance, but also going back to that gravity line. Obviously without gravity, you see like people on the moon, if you jump and get turned around or whatever, you might be doing flips or whatever. The point is the gravity and the balance kind of mesh together there. And then the final line there, but I wish, is another way of delivering the final line that she had in verse 1, where she said, but I want. So she wants, she wishes. Again, I'm not really sure how this is connecting as the overall message. But yeah, I'm just kind of breaking down little parts as we go here. I don't know. Maybe we can put together a full message by the end. It's not looking good for us, though.
Everything is worth it. Ordinary, oh. Do you want to see in this show or you know? I will enjoy until I'm satisfied. By then you'll be shaking your head like aliens.
So this is her as the alien, I'm pretty sure. Which would go along with the, like, you'll be shaking your head like aliens. Like, like, you'll be like me. Like, this could be like an artificial intelligence thing. It could be an actual extraterrestrial thing. It could just be something that's strange and unknown. Something that's alien to you. But this chorus says, everything is worth it. ordinary. So I'm... Okay. Do you want to see this in 0 or YOLO? I mean, YOLO, you only live once. I get that, but I don't... Either these translations are already inaccurate, or this is what she's saying, and I'm just not getting it. Do you want to see this in 0? I feel like that goes back to that 0, like the gravity line. Like if you have 0G, then there's no gravity and you float around. Or YOLO, which could also go back to the gravity line in terms of the seriousness definition. Because if you take the approach that you only live once, a lot of times you might take things more seriously. But most people actually use YOLO in the sense of, you only live once, so I'm going to be reckless and just do it. So, I don't know. I'll enjoy it till I'm satisfied. Okay, that's pretty obvious. By then, you'll be shaking your heads like aliens. Okay. This is just nonsensical stuff. There's no words here. It's just sounds. I guess it's alien language. So this is the Hangul part. Okay, because I don't know where the Hangul actually stops, I'm just going to read the verse and the pre-chorus here. So verse 2, magnetic attraction doesn't exist. I hope I hear your earnest voice without being blinded by the fear of invisible regular numbers. I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend that I know what the hell's being talked about here. I mean, I know I want to hear your earnest voice without being blinded by the fear. That speaks for itself. You don't have to break that down. But then the of invisible regular numbers, the only thing I can piece together from that is that it might be an AI thing. But I don't really know how that fits in. And the reason I say it could be an AI thing is because AI, mostly computer programming based off of, especially early, was based off of binary code, which is all ones and zeros. So that could be the regular numbers she's talking about. I mean, there could be more to it. I don't know. Okay. Pre-chorus, feeling the signal on the moon, floating between light and darkness before today disappears, follow. Okay. So, feeling the signal on the moon. Now remember we talked about gravity earlier and the 0 and invisible numbers, which gravity is measured in numbers, but obviously they're invisible, but I feel like I'm reaching and I'm not getting very far. Obviously, the before today disappears follow, like, let's act now. I think they're saying, like, before the day ends, like, don't delay. Let's, follow me towards this new future, whatever that new reality may be. And then we get the chorus again. Actually, we're going to get the chorus, then that same pre-chorus, and then the chorus again, and that's how we finish. She's alone in the darkness here, which could be that floating between the light and darkness part. the chorus is nice and, the choreo is nice and sharp at parts and then flowy at others. I like that she mixes that in. Of course, she's got all these faceless aliens next to her as backup dancers. Oh, and then we go back to the post-chorus gibberish. Okay, I'm gonna read the words just so you know that they are not actually words. They're just gibberish sounds. But it makes me wonder, is it something that she just did off the dome and kind of just stuck with? Or did she actually write it like this? Or whoever wrote the song? I assume it was her. Because this is one of those songs that has a super artsy type of vibe that, like, it almost has to come from the performer themselves. You almost don't expect there to be anyone else that wrote this song. I'm actually curious. I never do this on a reaction, but I'm actually going to look it up after I read the post-chorus. And I'm going to see, did she write this or, who wrote it? But post-chorus, Sabe lu be lu ba be ri bai. Sabi do be lu ba be ri bai. And then it mostly repeats. Yeah. That means absolutely nothing. Maybe it means something. She might have lore. And that might be the alien tongue, and it might actually mean something from other songs or in the lore of her artistic universe. I don't know. But that being said, let's see who wrote. Okay, this actually says singer, songwriter, musician Earth releases Aliens, the latest tale in her long-spun tapestry of characters. And this one actually says was written by Earth. So yeah, I kind of figured this just has a vibe of like no one else worked on this. No label did this. Like this was her. I could be wrong and Google could be wrong, but that was the feeling I got. That's the first two results that show up, so I'm gonna go with it. But yeah. Anyway, for better or worse, that was the reaction for Earth with Aliens. The song was really pleasant to listen to. Like I said, after the first listen, it was enjoyable. It's not something I would skip. It's not necessarily my thing, but I did like it to an extent. The only thing I didn't like is that I couldn't understand it. And I'm not talking about a language barrier. I'm talking about an art barrier. If you guys have seen my videos on the channel, any of the other videos, almost any of the other videos, I can almost always find something to isolate and pick out as the message of the song. I can only think of one other video where there was a song where I just couldn't get the message. But this one definitely jumps to the top of that list for me. I have no idea what this is about other than just aliens. And it might not actually be about anything, but given how artsy it is, I feel like there's definitely something here that I'm missing. So if you've read stuff about this, or if you have a theory, or if you have actually heard her say what it's about, let me know in the comments below. I don't like not knowing, but I also don't have time to basically go do a doctoral thesis on this. Real quick, if you haven't checked out the anniversary video, we've got some announcements. There is a Patreon now. There is free and paid content on the Patreon. Free stuff is basically anything that was blocked or partially blocked prior to me making the Patreon. And then paid content will include stuff like survival shows, concerts, that kind of thing. Excuse me. We also have a link to the spreadsheet where you can see the request queue, where you're at on there if you've already made a request, and instructions below that on how to make a request. And then if you want to jump to the top of the list, you can sponsor a request through the PayPal link or by subscribing to the Patreon. But I think that's going to do it for now. Thanks for checking this one out, guys, and I will catch you for the next one. Take care.